Hello students. In previous lecture we have talked about continuity of a function at a point. In this lecture we shall talk about the continuity of a function over an interval. But before that you need to understand the two kind of intervals we have. One is open interval, that is a comma b with round brackets. It implies all real numbers between a and b excluding a and b, excluding a and b. Then we have a closed interval. Closed interval. What is this closed interval? This is represented as square bracket a comma b, and it implies all real numbers between a and b including a and b, including a and b. So this is what the open interval and closed interval is. In open interval, it is all the real numbers between a and b, excluding a and b. And in closed interval, which is represented as square brackets, is all the real numbers between a and b, including a and b. So you need to keep this thing in mind. Now, the continuity on an open interval. What do you mean by continuity on an open interval? Now what is this continuity on an open interval? A function f of x is said to be continuous, on an open interval, say a comma b, if and only if it is continuous, if and only if it is continuous at every point on the interval a comma b. That is, function is continuous at every point in the interval a comma b. Now, students generally confuse point with the integers. So point can be any real number. It could be a fraction, it could be a integer. So when we say a comma b, all the points between a comma b means at all the real numbers between a and b. If the interval is 1 comma 2, say interval is 1 comma 2, then it is continuous at all the points between 1 and 2, which are 1.1, 1.11, 1.12, 1.2, so on till 1.9999. So again, this is your continuity on an open interval. Then you have continuity on a closed interval. 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 A function f of x is said to be continuous on closed interval a comma b if and only if f is continuous on open interval a comma b and limit x tend to a positive f of x is equal to f of a and limit x tend to b positive b negative f of x is equal to f of b. Means when we add something to a plus something, x will be greater than a, means we are calculating the right hand limit. Right hand limit at a should equal to value of the function at a. Similarly, when we subtract something from b, it comes out to be x less than b. So it is left hand limit on b. So left hand limit of the function at b is equal to f of b. So this you need to keep in mind, that is f of x is continuous on closed interval a comma b if and only if, number one, it is continuous on open interval a comma b. What does it mean? Means it is continuous at every point between a and b, every real number between a and b. And left hand limit, left hand continuity at x is equal to a, or we can say left hand limit is equal to the value of function at x is equal to a, and right hand continuity at x is equal to b. It is quite simple to understand. Say this is your number line, this is a, this is b. So your function is continuous between this interval. This point is included, this point is also included. So at this point on the left of a, function does not exist. So we do not check for the left hand limit at a. Why we do not check at left hand limit at a? Because the function does not exist on the left of a. Similarly, function does not exist on the right of b. So we do not check for the right hand limit at b. Sorry, I made a mistake over here. It should be right hand continuity at a and left hand continuity at b. Left hand continuity at b. Then there is continuous function. Continuous function. What is continuous function? A function f of x is said to be continuous. A function is said to be continuous at each point if it is continuous at each point of its domain. At each point of its domain. And everywhere continuous, there is a term everywhere continuous. Everywhere continuous. What does it mean? A function is said to be everywhere continuous. Everywhere continuous if it is continuous on the entire real line minus infinity to infinity. Means it is continuous over the entire real line, over all the real numbers. Then there are some properties. Properties of continuous functions. Properties of continuous functions. Now, what are the properties of continuous functions? First, if f and g are two continuous functions, are two continuous functions on their common domain, on their common domain D, then subpart 1, f plus g is continuous on D. What does it mean? If we simply put it out, sum of two continuous functions is a continuous function. It says f plus g means sum of two continuous functions is a continuous function on their common domain. Similarly, f minus g is continuous on D. Again, what does it mean? Difference of two continuous functions is a continuous function on their common domain. Difference of two continuous functions is a continuous function on their common domain. Number 3, f into g is continuous on D. Means product of two continuous functions. Product of two continuous functions is a continuous function on their common domain. Number 4, f upon g is continuous on D except at the point where denominator is equal to 0. So quotient is also a continuous function. Quotient of two continuous function is a continuous function on their common domain except at the points where the denominator is 0. And number 5, alpha f is continuous on D, where alpha is any real number, where alpha is any real number. So if a function is multiplied by any real number, even then it remains continuous. So if a function is multiplied by a constant, then it does not affect the continuity of the function. Next, 1 upon f is continuous on D, is continuous on D except where x, f of x is equal to 0. Means the reciprocal of the function is also continuous except at the points where it comes out to be 0. So this is your first property that says sum, difference, product, quotient, reciprocal of two continuous functions are continuous. Second property says the composition of two continuous functions, the composition of two continuous functions is a continuous function. Now what does it mean? Let f of x is continuous at x is equal to a, and g of f of x is continuous at f of a, then g of f of x is the composition of g and f, is continuous at x is equal to a. So composition of g and f, that is g of f of x, is abbreviated as GOF. GOFX is continuous at x is equal to a. G of f of x is continuous at x is equal to a. So g of f of x is called the composition of f and g. We'll study this in detail in functions. What is composition? So right now you need to understand that g of f of x is called GOF. GOF is defined as g of f of x. This is called composition of g and f. Third property you have following functions. Following functions are continuous everywhere. Means they are continuous over all the real numbers, that entire real line, minus infinity to infinity. The following functions are continuous from minus infinity to infinity at all the points from minus infinity to infinity. First one is constant function. Constant function. What is constant function? It is defined as f of x is equal to c. Second, identity function. Identity function. Now this is defined as y is equal to f of x is equal to x. Identity function. Number 3, we have polynomial function. Polynomial function defined as y is equal to f of x is equal to a naught x raised to power n plus a1 x raised to power n minus 1 plus so on up to an. So this kind of function is called polynomial function, where different powers of x are used. Number 4, exponential function. Exponential function. Now what is exponential function? Defined as y is equal to a raised to power x, where a is greater than 0, a is not equal to 1. So that is called exponential function. And in particular, y is equal to e raised to power x, where e is called Napier's constant. Where e is called Napier's constant. Then you have sine function defined as y is equal to sine x, and number 6 you have cosine function defined as y is equal to cos x. So these 6 functions are everywhere continuous. That is, they are continuous from minus infinity to infinity. Then number 4 you have following functions are continuous on their respective domains. On their respective domains. One is rational function. Rational function, that is f of x is equal to g of x upon h of x. H of x is not equal to 0. So that kind of function is called rational function. Number 2, logarithmic function. Logarithmic function defined as y is equal to log x to the base a. So x a should be greater than 0, a is not equal to 1, x should be greater than 0. So here domain of function is x belongs to 0 to infinity. Because x is greater than 0, it is defined for x greater than 0, so domain of function is x greater than 0 means 0 to infinity. Then number 3, tan x, comma, cot x, comma, secant x, cosecant x. Now domain of tan, x belongs to minus domain set of all reals except 2n plus 1 into pi by 2, n belonging to integers. So set of all real numbers except odd multiples of pi by 2. Domain of cot, that is x belongs to set of all reals except n pi where n belongs to z. Similarly, secant x, domain of secant x, domain of tan x is equal to domain of secant x is equal to domain of cosecant x. Then number 4, all inverse trigonometric functions. So all inverse trigonometric functions are also continuous on their respective domains. The domains of inverse trigonometry we have discussed in the previous chapter. Now we have a theorem that says theorem is if f is continuous on its domain D, then modulus of f is also continuous on D is the converse true justify. So that is a theorem which says if f is a continuous function on its domain, then modulus of that function is also continuous on the domain. Is the converse true? We need to check whether the converse true. That converse means if mod of f is continuous, then does it mean that f is also continuous? So first of all, let's prove that. First part that says first of all, let's check out with the definition of mod x. We know mod of f is defined as mod fx is equal to mod of f of x. It is defined as mod fx is equal to mod of f of x. Let a be an arbitrary What is arbitrary? Arbitrary stands for random. Arbitrary real number in D. Now see, whenever we need to prove that it is true at every point of the domain, then we take an arbitrary number, we prove that it is true for A, then if it is true for A, then it is true for all the real numbers, because A is arbitrary. A could be any number. Now F is continuous at, then F is continuous at x is equal to A. This is given that F is continuous on its domain. If it is continuous on its domain, then it is continuous at all numbers all numbers of its domain. So if it is continuous at x is equal to A, this implies limit x tend to A, f of x is equal to f of A. Mark this is number 1. Now let limit x tend to A mod of f x. Now this could be written as limit x tend to A mod of f of x. Now this can be written as limit x tend to A mod of limit x tend to A f of x, which is mod of f of A using 1 from 1 limit x tend to A f of x is equal to f of A. So limit x tend to f of x is equal to f of A. This is mod of f of A. This implies limit x tend to A mod f at x is equal to mod f at A. This implies mod f is continuous at x is equal to A. Since A is an arbitrary point in D, since A is an arbitrary real number in D, arbitrary point in D, therefore mod f is continuous in D. Clear? So we have proved that mod f is continuous on the domain D. दोबारा देखो, check it out again. Let A be an arbitrary real number in D. Since A is an arbitrary real number and we have proved that mod f is continuous at x is equal to A, therefore mod f is continuous at every point in domain D. Therefore mod f is continuous in domain D. Now let's talk about the converse. The converse of the above theorem. The converse of the above theorem is not true. For example, consider the function f of x is equal to 1 if x belongs to z, minus 1 if x belongs to set of all reals except integers. Now let A be an arbitrary integer. So limit x tend to A f of x. Now x tend to A means x is approaching an integer. It is near to integer but not an integer. When x is not an integer, the function is limit x tend to A. Function is minus 1. The limit of constant value is constant itself. And f of A, when x is an integer, the functional value is 1. Now this implies limit x tend to a, f of x is equal to f of a, is not equal to f of a. This implies f of x is discontinuous at x is equal to a. Discontinuous at x is equal to a. Also, mod of f x is equal to mod of f of x. Now when we take a mod means it will return you a positive value. So mod of -1 is also +1 and mod of +1 is 1. So that is equal to 1 for all x belonging to real numbers. Mod of f of x is equal to x is equal to 1 for all real numbers. So mod of f is a constant function. Now we have read in properties that constant function is continuous everywhere. So this implies mod f is continuous everywhere. Now you can see mod f is continuous but f is discontinuous. Therefore, mod f is continuous whereas f is discontinuous. Hence, the converse is not true. So, the theorem is if f is continuous, then modulus of function is continuous. But if modulus of a function is continuous, then it need not to be the function to be continuous. Then function need not to be continuous if modulus of that function is continuous. Clear? Now after going through this much, we shall start with few of the questions. Question is, if a function f is defined as f of x is equal to mod of x minus 4 upon x minus 4 when x is not equal to 4, 0 when x is equal to 4, show that f is everywhere continuous at continuous except at x is equal to 4. Show that f is everywhere continuous except at x is equal to 4. Now just check out f of x. Now this can be written as x is not equal to 4. When x is not equal to 4, either it is greater than 4 or it is less than 4. So we know the definition of mod of x minus 4. This is x minus 4 when x is greater than at the most equal to 4 and minus of x minus 4 when x is less than 4. So using that definition, mod of x minus 4 is x minus 4 when x is greater than 4 and minus of x minus 4 upon x minus 4 when x is less than 4 and 0 when x is equal to 4. This is predefined at x is equal to 4. This comes out to be 1 when x is greater than 4, minus 1 when x is less than 4 and 0 when x is equal to 4. Now, case 1, when x is greater than 4, f of x is equal to 1, which is a constant function. When x is greater than 4, f of x is equal to 1, which is a constant function, and we know constant function is continuous everywhere. This implies f of x is continuous for all x greater than 4. F of x is continuous for all x greater than 4. Similarly, case 2, when x is less than 4, So when x is less than 4, f of x is -1, which is again a constant function, which is a constant function. So being a constant function, it is continuous everywhere. Therefore, f of x is continuous for all x less than 4. Now we have proved that function is continuous for all x greater than 4 and f of x is continuous for all x less than 4. Now let us check out at x is equal to 4. At x is equal to 4. Left hand limit x tend to 4 negative f of x. This is limit x tend to 4 negative -1 is equal to -1, because 4 negative means x is less than 4. Then right hand limit x tend to 4 positive f of x. 4 positive means x is greater than 4. When x is greater than 4, function is equal to 1. So it is 1. Left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit, and f of 4 you are given with 0, which is also not equal to f of 4. This implies f of x is discontinuous at x is equal to 4. Therefore, you can see f of x is continuous everywhere except at x is equal to 4. Clear? So next, we'll take up another question that says, discuss the continuity of the function. Discuss the continuity of the function f of x is equal to sine 2x upon x if x is less than 0 and x plus 2 if x is greater than equal to 0. Now, how do you find that we need to, if this question is given, how do we find that question we need to check the continuity at a point or we need to check the continuity on an interval? So basically, when you are given the discuss the continuity of the function and you are not mentioned that find the continuity of the function at x is equal to 0, if I have written this question like this, discuss the continuity of the function at x is equal to 0, then only this is continuity of the function at a given point. But when this is not given, then it comes out to be continuity of the function over an interval. So for that purpose, you don't have to do much. It is similar questions. You have to do in a similar way like you do at a continuity of function at given point. So for interval, what you need to do is you need to add theoretically 2 or 3 lines. Which are those? Like for x less than 0, f of x is equal to sine 2x upon x. Now sine 2x is continuous for all x less than 0, because sine is continuous over entire real line. Sine is continuous over entire real line. It is continuous everywhere. So if it is continuous everywhere, it is also continuous for all x less than 0. X being a polynomial function, being a linear function, linear polynomial, is continuous for all x less than 0. Sine 2x is continuous, x is continuous. So if two functions are continuous, then the quotient function or rational function sine 2x upon x is also continuous for all x less than 0. So sin 2x is continuous, x is continuous, then the rational function or the quotient function sin 2x upon x is also continuous. Because if f and g are continuous, f and g are continuous, then f upon g is also continuous. This is the property of continuity. So function is continuous for all x less than 0. Now for x greater than equal to 0, f of x greater than 0, f of x is equal to x plus 2, which is linear polynomial. This implies f of x. Now polynomial function is also continuous everywhere. So f of x is continuous for all x greater than 0. So this much thing you need to add to a continuity of function at a point. Then after this you need to do evaluation at x is equal to 0. When you need to discuss over the interval, then for less than 0 solve it for greater than 0, or x less than a or greater than a, then solve the continuity at x is equal to a. After adding this much, add x is equal to a, x is equal to 0. Left hand limit x tend to 0 negative f of x. 0 negative means x is less than 0. When x is less than 0, f of x is sin 2x upon x, limit x tend to 0, sin 2x upon 2x into 2. Angular denominator, to make angular denominator same, multiply and divide by 2. So this comes out to be 1 into 2 is equal to 2. Right hand limit x tend to 0 positive f of x. 0 positive means 0 plus something, x is greater than 0. When x is greater than 0, function is x plus 2. 0 plus 2 is equal to 2. And what about f of 0? When x is equal to 0, function is 0 plus 2 is equal to 2. Means left hand limit is equal to right hand limit is equal to f of 0, implies f of x is continuous at x is equal to 0. Now it is continuous for x less than 0, it is continuous for x greater than 0, and it is also continuous at x is equal to 0. Therefore the function is continuous everywhere. We say that the function is continuous everywhere. Let's say talk about another question. Say one last question of the class. Given f of x is equal to 1 upon x minus 1, find the points of discontinuity of the composition function f of x. Now let's check out the continuity of f of x first at x is equal to 1. At x is equal to 1, left hand limit is equal to limit x tend to 1 negative f of x is equal to limit x tend to 1 negative 1 upon x minus 1. 1 negative means put x is equal to 1 minus h, as x tend to 1 negative implies h tend to 0. So this is limit h tend to 0, 1 upon 1 minus h minus 1. This is limit h tend to 0 minus 1 upon h is equal to minus infinity. And what about right hand limit? This is limit x tend to 1 positive f of x. This is limit x tend to 1 positive 1 upon x minus 1. Now the limit is x tends to 1 plus something. So say that something is h. X is equal to 1 plus h, as x tend to 1 positive implies h tend to 0. So this is limit h tend to 0, 1 upon 1 plus h minus 1. Limit h tend to 0, 1 upon h is equal to infinity. Now left hand limit is minus infinity and right hand limit is infinity. Left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit. Left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit. This implies f of x is discontinuous 1. Also, f of x is not defined at x is equal to 1, because when x is equal to 1, function comes out to infinity, which is not defined. So the function is not defined at x is equal to 1. F of x also, f of x is not defined at x is equal to 1. So for x not equal to 1, f of x is equal to f of 1 upon x minus 1. So replace x with 1 upon x minus 1. 1 upon x minus 1 minus 1. Solve this. We'll have x minus 1 upon 1 minus x plus 1. This is x minus 1 upon 2 minus x. So at x is equal to 2, left hand limit x tend to 2 negative, f of x is equal to limit x tend to 2 negative x minus 1 upon 2 minus x. So put x is equal to 2 minus h, as x tend to 2 negative implies h tend to 0. So using that, this is limit h tend to 0, 2 minus h minus 1 upon 2 minus 2 plus h. So this is limit h tend to 0, 1 minus h upon h. This is limit h tend to 0, 1 upon h minus 1. Now 1 upon h is infinity, infinity minus 1 comes out to be infinity. Similarly, when you solve right hand limit x tend to 2 positive f of x. This is limit x tend to 2 positive x minus 1 upon 2 minus x. On solving, you will get minus infinity. So left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit. Therefore, function is discontinuous at x is equal to 2. So function is discontinuous at x is equal to 2, and also discontinuous does not exist at x is equal to 1. Therefore f of x is discontinuous at x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 2. Is that okay?